Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more WNBA news, more exciting WNBA news as the league just kicked off last night. Very spectacular night. I was able to catch the Minnesota Lynx game and the Dallas Wings game to catch just a glimpse of Paige Becker's game with Dallas Wings, especially next to Enrique, and also be able to catch Nafisha Collier with Courtney Williams, an exciting duo I like to see play. But this segment here is just dedicated to predicting the Rookie of the Year for the WNBA for this 2025 season. So I'll give a rundown of some people who I think are in the running for it, and of course, make my prediction as well. So first, there's Paige Beckers for the Dallas Wings, the number one overall pick this year, the obvious choice for this award just because of her draft position and because of her history with the league, well, with the NCAA. And she's also sharing the court with one of the best scorers in the league, in Enrique, who I believe was second in scoring last year. Um, Very phenomenal scorer. So they have a lot. They have some talent on that team to do some things. They just drafted Isaiah James from North Carolina State as well. So they do have some pieces there. And watching them, last night, they obviously going to have a tough road ahead. But I think if Paige can average anywhere from about, you know, close to 20 points, give about 6, 7 assists, she can easily win this award because it doesn't take that much to win the Rookie of the Year award compared to other awards like the MVP and things like that. So I think the stage is set up for her to win this award, but I think she just needs to contribute close to, somewhere around 15 to 20 point range. And then if they can be close to the playoffs, I think if they make the playoffs, she's automatic shoe in for Rookie of the Year. But if they can get close to her, because, last year they were very far away from the playoff contention, hence them getting the first pick with Paige. But I think she'll be a shoe in for it. But the next pick, my next prediction for one of the candidates for the Rookie of the Year, I believe, is Dominique Malonga, which I've said before when I was talking about the draft coverage. She will be she'll probably have the easiest transition to the league because, for one, she was already professional, and two, she's the tallest player that was in the draft this year, and she'll be the tallest rookie. So she'll have the easiest transition, and she can actually dunk as well. So she has a game that will translate easier because to rebound and to dunk or to put layups in will be a lot easier than people who have to jump shoot. Those people who have to go off screens and all these things. She doesn't need a screen. She can shoot. She can face up with her back towards the basket, or she can shoot a shot without having to worry about trying to get creative or having to be quick and skillful to get her shot off. So I believe her game will translate the fastest out of all of these WNBA rookies. And then her pro experience as well. She's already experienced the pros and played against adults already. So it shouldn't be too difficult for her to transition into the league. Just the only thing that you probably worry about with her is probably health, being that tall, but knock on wood. Um, we'll monitor her progress and see where she goes. But she has a lot of veteran leadership on her team as well. She has Skylar Diggins. She also has Ninika Gumake, who also will help her with that transition, and she can learn from them. So she has a lot of experience opposed to some players that come in the league, like Kaylin Clark. When she came in the league, she had a lot of she didn't have a lot of leadership, not leadership, but senior leadership on her team. Dominique Malonga won't have that problem. Haley Van Lith for Chicago Sky. I believe she could be a sleeper, one of the sleepers in this candidates for the Rookie of the Year because of her team that she already has. She has a lot of youth on her team as well, but she does have a bunch of great potential on her team. And when I'm talking about great potential, I'm talking about that front court because last year they had a okay backcourt because they did have Kennedy Carter, who was very a dominant scorer, but she wasn't a pass first point guard. Haley Van Lith can provide that pass first point guard ability for them, especially having that dominant front court ability and Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. I believe that Haley Van Lith can provide enough scoring. She won't be able to score like a Kennedy Carter can, but she can provide enough scoring that will help her team get into playoff contention. Because last year they were just on the fringe of it. Angel Reese missed, I believe, the last 5 games of the season, which they were pretty much not going to win, get to the playoffs anyway with how they were trending. But I do believe that Haley Van Lith gives them a spark and gives them a freshness at point guard that'll be able to distribute the basketball and get them in spots where they can get easy baskets, but they can get better looks at the basket. But of course, they have to work on their post games because they need those post moves and um, that skill set to still finish the job. Hopefully, they've done that this offseason. But Haley Van Lith, I believe, will provide essential scoring for them and distributing the basketball and her penetration to the cup will actually open up more lanes for them. So the only thing they have to do is just make sure they're ready to catch the basketball. Lastly, this is my sleeper pick for rookie of the year. One of the drafts, she slipped in the draft, I believe, but because she's more dominant on one side of the basketball, but Cheyenne Sellers. So Cheyenne Sellers, as you know, from the Maryland Terrapins, she was drafted to the Valkyrie, who did lose last night. But I believe she can be a sleeper pick because she's a defensive wizard, in my opinion, especially with the defense that she played on Juju Watkins, the best college women's basketball player last year. Um, and I believe that Cheyenne Sellers' defense can lead to easy baskets and also lead to easier offense for her team, especially an expansion team in the Valkyries, which, they're going to need a lot of help, especially last night. They just took a loss, their first loss in their first game, and they lost pretty big, and they gave up 37 points to Kelsey Plum. So it's going to be definitely a process for them, and they got a slow start, but I believe they'll get better as the season wanes. But for now, I think they'll be a bad team, as most expansion teams are, because they only getting, players from other teams that pretty much they had to give away. So other teams were going to give away their best players. So you're going to get, uh, with all due respect, like the scraps of the teams that didn't want, or the players that they felt like were expendable to them. So she's going to have a lot of a learning curve. She doesn't have a lot of senior leadership on her team like most of the rookies don't. That's drafted kind of early. She won't have that, but in the sense her defense will carry them, and she'll be able to help them at least get easier baskets, get some transition runouts, get some 3-on-1 fast breaks and things like that. So I do believe Cheyenne Sellers has that ability as a defensive, especially on the ball defender. Um, but for overall, I think it's set up for Paige Beckers to win this Rookie of the Year award. But I think Dominic Malonga has the greatest upside to win this award because, like I said, she's the tallest player. She's already been a professional. Um, Tony Parker has called her the female Victor Wembanyama, which is a strong statement, especially, well, they're both from France. Well, all three parties involved, Tony Parker, Victor Wembanyama, Dominic Malonga, are all French. So those comments are easy to make because they're in the same country. But, as far calling her the female Victor Wembanyama, that's it's a tall order to have, but I think she can live up to it, and I think she has that potential. But, obviously, I think Paige Beckers will be the pick, but Dominique Malonga is you know, I'm still debating on that one, but we'll see as the season wanes. But thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. As always, I'll see you next time.